Hello, I'm Tim. On this Ask SPS, women in policing. What is their experience? How many of them are there? What is the future like for women in policing? Well, we're trying to get perspective from the newly hired to the more experienced. On this Ask SPS, please welcome our guest, Monsi Verk, a constable with SPS, newly hired, and she already wants to tell her story about why she's joined SPS and also provide some perspective on why women should consider a career here. Monsi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So my first question, I'm interested to hear about this. What motivated you to join SPS? Because I understand it could be your family history, it could be your military experience, it could be your volunteering that you've done here in Surrey. So what is it? Why did you join SPS?
Well, I grew up in Surrey here. Surrey has given me so much opportunity in life, and I wouldn't be where I am without this community here. I'm fourth generation now to serve in uniform, and I thought that Surrey Police Service would be the absolute best opportunity for me to represent and serve that community that's given me so much.
So you've been on duty now for a few months, recently sworn in, and you had to go to the JI, the Justice Institute. So what was that experience like for women particularly going through training there?
I found it to be amazing, actually. I had a great team with me all throughout my whole experience, great mentors there at the JI, and a lot of strong females there that have been a great mentor to me that I still talk to right now.
At SPS, if you, observe this in the locker rooms, and also if you look at the statistics, about 20% of SPS are women. Do you expect that number to change in the years ahead? Do you think more women could be attracted to a career in policing?
I really do. I mean, look at where we are now, right? So I'm a pretty young female, and this has been my dream since I was a little girl, and I do hope that things will change, and I do believe things will change, that more females, will come into the serving community and help the community out.
So you've had this dream for a while, so let's talk about that kind of flashback and look at the perspective from girls who are going through, say, high school. What would be your message, Monsi, for those girls who are maybe considering a career in policing or maybe not even considering it? What would you say to them to motivate them to go this way?
I mean, policing is definitely a tough career, but always know that you have a great team to back you up no matter what. I mean, my team is also my family and great friends that I've made even in the short amount of time. Just know that yes, it is tough, but you have amazing people to back you up no matter what it is.
From Surrey Police Service, this is Constable Madison Ford. Madison, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
And so Madison might be familiar because you were actually one of two officers who debuted the uniform 2 years ago. We saw you in videos, we saw you in photos. But before we talk about that, let's focus on the 2 years. What has been the most enjoyable thing within SPS so far?
I think for me, it's the people here and the leadership. They've really helped us just get through this transition as seamlessly as possible.
What about your family? Are they also hearing you talk about the experience and encouraging you to keep going here? Because now you have some years of experience in policing.
My family's been very supportive. Like you said, they just tell me to keep on pushing through it. It'll turn out in the end, and so far they've been right, so just keep on pushing through.
So what do you say to those people who might be a little bit smaller thinking about a career in law enforcement?
I would definitely tell her to keep going with her goals and aspirations. It requires obviously a lot of work to get into policing, lots of volunteer experience. Definitely you want to be fit, so you want to go to the gym, do extracurricular activities, sports. For me, before policing, I played soccer, so that helped. I wouldn't say that size would necessarily matter in this job.
How do you stay in shape as a police officer?
The gym, typically.
You just do your own routine, or is there a coach at SPS who says, okay, Madison, give me 10 push-ups?
I do my own routine. I know we have a wellness sergeant who I think is quite familiar with fitness as well that can give guidance. So it just depends on your level of expertise, yeah.
Staff Sergeant, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
You are in the recruiting section, and before we talk about that, and specifically what may attract women to join SPS, let's talk about your career, because you've been in policing for 20 years, and you've been with the RCMP, and you've also had the municipal experience. So let's talk about your time here at SPS. What have you been up to here?
So I came over to SPS about 2.5 years ago. I was quite early coming on. What drew me to SPS was the opportunity to build something from the ground up, to be part of an organization, something that had never been done before, and to be part of a municipal police agency, a little bit of a smaller agency where we had a little bit more control over certain aspects. We could implement change that was necessary relatively easy. I didn't want to travel around anymore. I had policed in Surrey before. I love policing this area. I love the communities here, so I wanted to stay put. I saw our senior leadership team being built and people that I had worked with previously and people that I had always wanted to work for. And it was the right timing for me in the right moment. And so I made the transition and haven't looked back.
And now you have a pivotal part of trying to create SPS because you're in the recruiting section. So let's give people watching a little bit of a hint. What are you looking for? What can they do to get Staff Sergeant's attention?
So we're hiring new recruits as well as experienced officers. We're building, like I said, from the ground up. So we're looking for a multitude of experiences and backgrounds. We've hired from 25 different policing agencies right across the country. So we've brought in people with a wealth of experience and knowledge and kind of best practices from their agencies and their backgrounds. I always say we're building the ultimate dream team here. We're looking for new recruits that have a desire to police within the city of Surrey and in their communities and to serve here in Surrey.
Staff Sergeant, when you look at the makeup right now of SPS, 1 in 5 officers is a woman. So 20%. When you're recruiting, is that something that you keep in mind? Are you trying to get more women to join SPS?
We want people from all kinds of backgrounds, but certainly policing has changed in the last 20 years. It's no longer a male-dominated profession. We want to bring in women. They have a little bit different perspective, different experiences. So we want people that are able to critically think and de-escalate situations, have good communication skills. And so we have very strong leaders, both male and female at SPS at all ranks, and certainly we will always want to bring up the female numbers here, and we would love to have that number at around 30% if we could. So we're always looking for women to come here and join me doing what we're doing.
Thank you so much for your time today and joining us on Ask SPS.
Thank you for having me.
That is Staff Sergeant Carrie Blades joining us on Ask SPS. For more information on the service, you can visit surreypolice.ca. I'm Tim James for Ask SPS.